Hi students, welcome to Nurse Educatrix and you are watching research video. We have discussed in the previous videos regarding research problem and how to write a research problem, what are all the criteria and sources of getting a research problem. And the next step in after identification of research problem is writing research objectives. So we will see about research objective in this video. So what is research objective, what are all the importance, and what is the need for writing objectives, what are the types of objectives and characteristics of objectives. With an example we will discuss here. So an objective is an important aspect of scientific investigation. So if you want to investigate something, a goal or objective is very important. It is a statement of what the researcher intends to accomplish through the research. So it is the statement given by the researcher what he wants to do in this research. Usually the objectives are presented in the first chapter of the dissertation and it is closely related to the statement of the problem. So the research statement or research problem, from that we will write the objectives. So what is the definition of objectives? The objectives are generally called as goals. So every aspect, goal or objectives are very necessary for the forward movement of any activity. So research objective, it is a clear, concise, declarative statement which provides direction to investigate or conduct research. So the research objectives are nothing but the statement given by the researcher for a direction to investigate the research. So, research objective is a clear, concise, declarative statement which provides direction to investigate or conduct research. So, why we need objectives in research? So, or the purpose of research? If we say, you can write under the mnemonics DEAFS. So, what is DEAFS? Is direction, errorless. A represents avoid duplication, and F is for focus and S is for structure. So the need or purpose of the objectives, it gives direction to the study. So with a clear written objective, the research can be directed in a clear way, so there won't be any interruptions or there won't be any diversion while doing the research happens if you have a clear written objectives. Next one in errorless. So a well defined objectives will reduce the errors in our research process. So a well written objectives will reduce the errors or bias during the research process. The next is avoiding duplication. So if you write specific goals so that you can avoid duplication of the activities and you can save time and resources. So if you write the objectives, specified objectives, so you can work towards each objective so that the time and the resources of the research is saved. The next one is focus. Focus or concentration of the researcher. For that concentration and focus, the objectives are really helpful so that they can complete one by one. So if you set objectives, the researcher can focus one objective at a time and he can accomplish it. So the focus and concentration of the researcher increases when he set the objectives. The next one is structure. So the objectives gives a well defined structure to the study. So once you write the problem statement and write the objectives and you follow the sequence according to the objectives you set, the study gets its structure. So these are all the purpose of objectives in a research study. So what is it? It gives direction to the study, it reduces the error, it avoids duplications, and it increases the concentration and focus of the researcher, and it gives a well defined structure to the study. The next one is characteristics. So what are all the characteristics of objectives? So we have already studied the characteristics of goal or objectives in nursing process, that is SMART. So this mnemonics always helps in understanding the characteristics of objectives. So it is the same characteristics which we can apply in this research objectives as well. So S for specific or simple. So we keep the goals always simple and more specific. M is for measurable. So you will measure whatever goal you are keeping, it should be measurable and it is attainable or achievable. So it should be achievable or attainable goals what you set in the research objectives, and it is to be realistic and time bound. So whatever goal in our life we keep, you should always follow the SMART characteristics. You have to keep it simple and specific, measurable, achievable one, realistic goals, and time bound. So along with this, you can add other characteristics like relevant, feasible, logical one, observable one, and measurable. Measurable we have discussed in the SMART already. So these are all the other characteristics you can add up for objectives characteristics. Clear? So characteristic should be SMART. And the next is types of objective. So the objectives are usually classified as short-term and long-term goals. So in research objectives, we say it as general objective and specific objective. So general objectives are broad goals to be achieved, whereas specific objectives are short-term or narrow in focus. So as it is broad goals, the general objectives are less in number, whereas specific objectives are more in numbers. So general objective is written by the researcher from the title of the study, whereas specific objectives is written from the general objective. So general objectives are broken into specific objectives. One general objectives can be divided or broken into 2 or 3 specific objectives. So they are more in numbers. This should specify what the researcher, the specific objective should specify what the researcher will do, like where he wants to do, what he wants to do, and other things. Okay, so generally, if we say that types of objective are of two types, general and specific objective. General objectives are broad goals, whereas and they are set by the researcher mostly from the research problem statement, and they are usually less in numbers, whereas specific objectives, these are short-term goals, are narrow in focus. General objectives can be broken into specific objectives, so they are more in numbers, and it should specify what the researcher wants to do in his research activity. So if you see an example for writing objectives, so usually it is written after a problem statement. Is a study to compare the knowledge and practice of postnatal mothers regarding neonatal care in a selected urban setting of Kannur. So this is an example of a statement. So we will see how you can write the objectives. So the general objective here it is to compare the knowledge and practice of postnatal mothers regarding neonatal care. Okay, what are the specific objectives? To assess the knowledge of postnatal mothers regarding neonatal care, to determine association of knowledge with selected variable, and to compare the knowledge and practice of neonatal care among postnatal mothers. So you will assess the knowledge, and you can even add one more objective like assess the practice or observe the practice of postnatal mothers regarding neonatal care, and you will associate the knowledge with selected demographic variable, and you compare the knowledge and practice of neonatal care. So this is one example. I will show you another example with the general and specific objective. So the title of the study is Study to Assess the Knowledge and Attitude on Cancer Disease Among Rural Population. So I have given a very simple study so you can understand it easily. So a study to assess the knowledge and attitude on cancer disease. So the general objective is assess the knowledge and attitude of cancer disease among rural population. So it's the one sentence, one general objective. So what are the specific objectives? To assess the level of knowledge, to assess the attitude, to identify relationship between knowledge and attitude, and you find association between knowledge, attitude, and demographic variables. So this is how you have to write a problem statement. Under that you have to write the objectives like general and specific objectives. So hope you understood. So in this quick video we have discussed about the definition of objective, that is the goals, Okay, and the purposes of objective, you should always remember DEFs, DEAFS, and the characteristics of objectives, you remember SMART, SMART, types of objectives, general and specific objectives, and writing objectives for a research title. So I have explained with 2 examples. Okay, hope you understood. See you in next video. Thank you.